Hey everybody, this is Logan from Critical EDH. I'm joined by Gold Sabretooth and Zechariah Boyce. You might not know Zechariah's name, but he's the Lotho player that had just an absolutely amazing finish at the Steel City Spectacular. Say that 5 times fast. Uh, and that was a huge tournament, 514 players, which is kind of funny because your record's 514.
I didn't even notice that.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I think we just wanted to chat with you about the deck. We took a particular interest because we're all big fans of Lotho as a card, and we know that the card's incredibly powerful, but none of us have really thought to put it in the command zone. I had worked on it on the deck for a little bit and kind of theorized about because the card's so powerful, is it worth putting in command? But I kind of thought that the two colors might be a little bit too limiting for what I was looking for. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we can dive into all of that. But I guess first, my little
Is that
one's upset.
Galvin?
Yeah, he's upset. Daddy's not over there. That's all right. He's okay.
Lotho fan too.
I was going to say, but first, tell us a little bit about yourself. Kind of introduce yourself, your background, your history to Magic, and that sort of thing. And I guess we can just go from there.
Sure. My name's Zechariah Boyce. I live in Pittsburgh, where the event was. So great. I was a local. Best part of it was getting to drive there and then drive home when I was done.
Nice.
It took 20 minutes. I've been playing Magic. I got in 2015, 2016 when Amonkhet came out, and only played limited. That's how my friend got me into it. That's how I got into it. Just drafting, and it's a ton of fun. You build up your skills, whatever. And then I got 4 friends, and they all said, "Have you heard of Commander?" And I said, "What the hell's that?" And so we start playing it, and it's a blast. And then, COVID happens, and YouTube cEDH content explodes. And I say, "What is this? This seems broken and awesome and fun." And I finally get to try it out. And so I'm like, okay, cEDH, this looks great. Let's see where it is in Pittsburgh. And there's nothing. Pittsburgh had no cEDH scene until recently, and it's still very small. My local store's only been doing it for a year, and we get about 20 people tops every Sunday. So
that's not bad.
It's not bad, but it's not. There's no events in Pittsburgh. That's why the Spectacular was so awesome, because I'm in a spot right now where traveling's really hard. And I said, oh, a local event? Perfect. I can finally do it. I could try to go to Ohio for some of the stuff, but it's just a whole weekend traveling. It adds up. It's really tough. So
sure.
I saw it was local. And I was like, I don't even need to do well, but I want to play in a big event. I've always wanted to. It sounds like a lot of fun. And if I do bad, I'm still going to improve because I'm going to be able to recognize mistakes, play with good people, and I'll still get to have fun. So I was able to do it and did well. But
have you played competitive Magic before cEDH?
Yeah, I've played a little bit of 60 card. I did some Grand Prix, if anyone remembers those. And I've done one modern RCQ in the past year. But I do a little 60 card and cEDH on Sundays when I can. But I haven't been playing any big events recently. This is the biggest event I've ever played in. And the only big event I've played in the past 5 years. It's been so long since I've gotten to do something. So I was very excited.
What do you think was go
ahead, Tim.
What do you think was it's obvious to think about the the difficulties of playing in your first event and never having played an event before, but there's obviously got to be some unforeseen benefits. What were some of the things you feel gave you an advantage going in, playing in your biggest event,
I think an advantage of it being my first big event is my expectations of myself have never been lower. As in, if I get any wins, I got wins against people that have been coming to events. So that feels great. And if I do even remotely well, 3 wins are up, then I've gone above the 25% expected win rate. I'll be over the moon. And it's just removing that stress of the performance anxiety. You know,
Mm.
if you expect a lot from yourself and you lose your first 2 rounds, maybe you're going to be shooken up, you're going to be flustered. So just coming into round 1, feeling comfortable in my deck, but also just like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Just focus on the gameplay. Don't focus on trying to meet some requirement of my own, trying to impress someone. Just do my best every action, every turn, every game. And that just helps really just be able to focus in and not get overwhelmed by 75 blue farms and however many rock drafts. Just be able to look and be like, well, I can control this, let everything else go, and just focus on it.
Did you set any
That's
goals for
awesome.
yourself coming into the tournament? Just, I know you said your expectations weren't there because you're like, it's my first big tournament and all that stuff, but sometimes you have that goal of like, I just want to win a game or I just want to make a certain play or anything like that. Did you have any of those?
A goal? So we do 3 rounds locals here, and I usually get between 1 and 2 wins. So my goal was to maintain that ratio of wins and make day 2. I just wanted the 7 points. I was like, as long as I get 7 points, make day 2, I can scrub out. I don't care. I'll be ecstatic if I can do that. So, you know, I'm just like, just get 7. You know, that's a win and 2 draws. I have 6 rounds to do that. But winning round 1, all of a sudden, it's gone. There's no worries anymore. I'm at 5 points already. It's round 1. I can get 2 points for the rest of the day. So you get the first round jitters out of the way, and I was just smooth sailing, not a worry in my head. I was like, what's 2 more points? Surely I can do that. And I did. And that was my goal, was get day 2. And if I didn't make day 2, then I know it probably wouldn't have been my fault. Because like I'm a pretty solid player, and I usually don't make mistakes for sequencing and like walking into interaction or pushing at the wrong time. But if I don't make day 2, it's just bad beats. I'll take it. But I just wanted to make day 2.
That's cool. Like that's some like real football coach advice where it's just like setting like small manageable goals that kind of like build up to success.
Yeah.
You know, it's
And
like
that's
we would say to our win a down. You know what I mean? We'd say like win a down. You know, like win a set of downs, like win a quarter is like way easier for people to.
Yeah, I know for me at the Invitational, I was, number 1, I was just happy to be there because I wasn't expecting to be there. And then number 2, I was like, if I can just win a game against all these top players, I can take 1 game off of everybody, like I'm cool for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
I won round 1 and I was like, oh shit, like, okay, well that's out of the way. Now what?
Same thing.
Like, yeah. So
yeah, I mean that's awesome. That's how my event went. You know, I started with my small goal. I was like 7 points. That's my goal. I win round 1 and 2, and I'm like, I've already made day 2. I have 4 more rounds. Let's aim for top 32. I get to like 17 points on day 1. I'm like, holy cow. Let's aim for top 16. I get to top 16. I'm like, okay, next small goal, win 1 more game. I win that game. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the finals. Next small goal, win. And then I sit down for my pod from hell, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I personally have run into this problem where if I do well enough day 1, I have a hard time like not messing around on day 2 a little bit and like kicking my ass into gear for day 2. Did you have any of that sort of like, oh, well, I did so well day 1? Like, how do you transition and carry that energy into day 2?
So I had 3 wins and 3 draws coming in for day 2. So I had 18 points. And there'd been a lot of talk of the bubble being at somewhere between 19 and 21. So I knew I still had to get a win to guarantee it, but 2 draws would also probably put me in because my tiebreakers were really, really good.
Right.
So I still had to try to play tight, I think. Like I didn't take any risky hands. I made sure to mulligan right and make good tight gameplay and like still try to politic well. Because I knew I still needed to, at the very minimum, get a draw my first round of day 2, or else like I needed to win, and then I'd be stressing about that. So just really still had to. I came in almost treating it like round 1 of day 1, where I was still like, I still need to do well. I still need to do my absolute best, because for the people who are at the top tables, 18 points there was like 4 or 5 people already guaranteed top 16 with 20 or more points. So you looked down the rankings and you were like, if any of these people win, they've knocked me out of the top 16. So I need to at least get a point or a win. So I was still had to lock in and really focus up. But yeah, I didn't slack off, didn't make silly plays. I just felt confident in my gameplay and ready to just go for it.
Nice. So you had talked and you had said that like your cEDH experience, you've been playing for a little while. You've been playing in like locals and watching cEDH content and stuff like that. What other decks have you played, or is this your kind of like main deck?
So this is my main deck, but I've played a lot. I've played Blue Farm. That's the first deck I played. I borrowed someone's Blue Farm deck. Played a Lotho on turn 1 and realized how good it was. So that'll come back later for this. And then I wanted a turbo deck, and I didn't want Rog Sai because I wanted to finally brew my own deck. And Francisco came out, so I made Rog Francisco Rakdos Turbo. Just go all in on it. That was a really good experience. Learned Turbo's not for me. It's not for everyone. I couldn't make it work. Just like having the confidence to mulligan properly in Turbo is really tough. And like, I needed a deck that was more forgiving than a Turbo deck. Went to like something a little more mid-rangey. Still liked Francisco when it was still a little hotness with the Cauldron Ballista combos. And I did everyone's baby's first homebrew cEDH deck of you put as many combos as you can in your cEDH deck and lay them as deeply as you can. So I had a like Francisco Timna deck with Heliod Ballista and Micaeus Triskelion, and like it was awful. It was just so many combos. And again, I played Lotho on turn 1 again in that deck. And I said, what if I just played Lotho instead? And my floor of my deck is turn 2 Lotho every single game. And that's what I did.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking. If you can find a way to win in Orzhov and really stick to it, having a turn 2 Lotho at worst every single game is very, very strong. And that's how I came together with this deck. And then I started playing at locals. I've been playing it for give or take 6 months now. Starting with the list that you'll see online if you look up at other people's with like Leon and Relic Warder and more Blood Artists and Villis Citadels and Razakeths, and tried to trim it and make it my own. And really for the tournament, my focus was get it down to just a plan 1 with no fallback. That way, my room for personal error was at its absolute minimal. I only have one game plan to go for, so just don't mess up that one game plan. And that's why you won't see a lot of the stuff you see in other Lotho lists with the Relic Warders and the Ballista Citadels and the Razakeths. I decided my game plan is just hoarding Broodlord. And it turns out it's pretty good if you can make Buried Alive your intuition and Lotho's your commander. And that's what I was able to do with this list. So that's why it really came together. And I always do well with locals, and I play people who have blue farms. They've got Rog Thrasses, Rog Size. I play against the meta decks, and I love it when I'm sitting into blue farm, Rog Thrass. I'm like, oh, great. We're going to go to turn 4 or 5. I'm going to get 9 treasures off of Lotho, and I'm going to put a Grand Abolisher in play. And you're all going to squirm and lose the game because of it. So it's awesome.
It's funny you talk about like the singular game plan.
Yeah.
And also just like the guaranteed value or whatever in the command. So I don't know how much you know about me, but I won a pretty large tournament on Glarb back in February. So I'm kind of the Glarb guy, but if you look at my list,
the Glarb father,
Glarb father.
If you look at my list, my whole plan was get a draw engine out early with like Ristic Study or Fish, and then transition into Glarb later if I need to. Otherwise, if I have to mulligan low, guess what? I've guaranteed Glarb. I can do turn 2 Glarb on like land dork land Glarb, right? And like that's not a bad plan.
No.
And my list had just Thassa Decon or Tainted Pact, pretty much. That was like my entire plan. But up until then, I'm playing Control, I'm playing like removal spells and stuff like that. So I was criticized pretty heavily for saying like, well, what are your other win cons? And I'm like, I don't need any if I don't mess this one up, or if I don't like
just win.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you've kind of come to the same conclusion on a totally different deck, but the patterns are similar, where you have a guaranteed value engine in the command zone, and then you've got a pretty tight and workable win line where you're like, I don't need to throw 10 combos in back. I need the one, or like the 1.5.
Yeah, and you just need to do it. You just White's really good at protecting a win, so just make sure you protect the win, and there you go.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well said. How did you? I guess another question I'm sure the viewers want to know is like, well, I want to know, so I'm sure maybe they do too. Like, how did you prepare yourself to go to a big tournament without blue? I think a lot of people are afraid to play without blue.
Yeah.
Like, how did you let go in a way, or what are your ways of? How did you contextualize or think about your deck differently, knowing that like if someone jams, you don't have a counterspell? How did you approach that?
So it was tough because cEDH is really scary when you don't have the permission magic. You're just kind of at the whims of the table, but you can make choices that will mitigate that. So if you're worried about protecting a win and you're in white, you have silences. Great. If you're worried about other people putting wins on the stack, that's where you run a couple specific stacks pieces. And if you need to tutor for them, you can tutor for them. And that's why I've got...
You're in black.
I know, yeah. And I'm in black for the tutors. And I know a lot of people, like, for big tournaments, they're more focused on winning quick. So they'll cut, like, their Drannith Magistrates and maybe their Dothies and their Adrenaline Valas. But I think when you're not in blue and you're not in red, you need to be okay with winning the game on turn 5 sometimes. And you need to get there. So a turn 1 Drannith does that. Dothy Voidwalker into Blue Farm, MVP of my tournament. I played Blue Farm almost every match. And anytime Dothy came down, they were like, cool. I just Imperial Sealed for Underworld Breach. So that's a time walk. And I'm like, great, here's a Dothy Voidwalker you have to deal with for the rest of the game until I want to use it. So just, you have to make sure you are okay losing when there's nothing you can do. Give yourself an out in your deck where if you're looking at that turn 1 Vampiric Tutor against a Godo and a Carrick and a Rogthras, there's something in your deck where whoever needs to be answered, you can go and grab the answer if you can't push a win quicker. And I made sure to have one of each stacks piece for any of the meta decks that I was worried about that I could go and grab if I needed to. And it came up and it mattered. So that's how I was okay with it. And then Black-White can't stop Thassa's Oracle. So I play a Torpor Orb, but I'm not going to. So
I was going to say, you can, but it's not, it has nothing to do with Black-White.
And don't play Angel's Grace.
The coolest one.
Yeah, Nord's kind of sick, actually.
I've thought about it. 5 mana's a lot. Lotho makes the mana. 2 Hoarding Broodlord triggers, maybe? Anyone?
Yeah. No Sullen half needed.
Don't cope and play Angel's Grace. You'll kill the Thoracle player and then you'll lose to the next person. Just play something better. So my answer was like, force them to draw with Baleful Mastery and hope that's enough. But, if you lose to Thoracle, you lose to Thoracle. Get over it. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't win every game. If you need to get lucky to win a tournament, lean into that kind of luck of, well, if I can't beat turn 2 Thoracle and they have it, maybe another blue player can stop it. Just lean into that. Be okay with losing the games that you can't control.
So you've got Lotho in the command zone, which means he's practically guaranteed, and that seems like a pretty heavy game plan. Did you have any consideration for people that want to copy the Lotho, or let's say a Kinnan, they want to copy Lotho, and then they have basically like a ton of mana, and they're accelerating way past you. What are you doing to deal with things like that? And like, what were your thoughts on that going into the tournament?
So it's scary whenever you give a Lotho to be Mockingbird or Imposter Mech. It's always scary. It's such a good mana engine. But if theirs is making mana, mine is making mana too. And Kinnan, while being very powerful, it's not a deck I was worried about at this tournament because I know people over-respect Kinnan too much. So if Kidden clones a Lotho, I'm not the problem. It's arch enemy right there.
You weren't worried about it because Freedom
and-
Waffle was at the Invitational, not the Open.
yeah, all the good players were over there. I was like, okay, I could get no Kiddens here. I don't even think I played a Kidden in the Invitational. Like it was,
Whoa.
it's
at the Open,
so I think I've thought about, like maybe you run a Stony Silence effect, but Karn's terrible, so I'm not going to. And it's just, I think you just need to be, if someone's getting advantage off of your advantage, that's where White's really good at being like, okay, you have 14 mana and 12 cards in hand, but you can't mind break trap my Grand Abolisher, and now I win the game here. And just be like, okay, we go a turn cycle. You have twice as much mana as me, but I'm winning protected, and you can't counter it. So just, it's also what I really liked about this Lotho list is it pivots really good from looking like I'm going for a mid-range game plan, and then I just win the game. And it shows nothing on board. It's all just like, oh, I hit 8 mana, 10 mana, I just win here, protected. Just a really quick pivot, and just you go turn 1 Lotho, and people are like, well, I'm not gonna not double spell. You untap with 6 mana. If you read there's no interaction, just in 2 mana make dead, win on turn 2. And it just go for it. But if you feel worried about it, get a card draw engine down. I've got like 8 of them in the deck. Just pick up cards in hand, be patient. There's enough removal that as long as you don't get Thoracled, you can stop most wins, and then again just push protected. That's why I put up so many silences. That's why I cut all the other combos. Is I needed more silences and removal in the list. So just,
And you're on Ranger Captain, Voice of Victory, Grand Abolisher, Orim's Chant. Are there any other ones I'm forgetting?
let me pull up the list here since we're starting to dive into that.
I'm on Defense Grid, Apple of Eden, Conqueror's Flail,
Orim's Chant, Silence.
I was on Wandering Archaic, but I cut it. It was just a little bit too much mana for a mediocre Silence. But yeah, Conch Flail's really good. It gets Lotho out of Bowmaster range, but it's also, you just keep putting on things. Apple of Eden, if you've never activated it, just wins you the game.
Apple is crazy.
Apple's crazy. So yeah, I'm on what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on 8 silences. And sometimes I want more, but it's, you have all the black tutors. So if you have the combo in hand already, you just tutor for a silence.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like I know sometimes your silence gets countered and people are like, oh, they definitely have the second thing, I won't push, but sometimes they don't have the second thing. You like just call people on their bluff sometimes. Reading the table is really hard, and that's definitely a skill I'd like to work on after this tournament, because I won my top 16 game by reading the table. So
how so? What do you
so incredible, the Blue Farm player Sky was in seat 4 on a mulligan to 2. So we all kind of counter out. Turn 1 Esper Sentinel. Turn 2, she goes LED, Demonic Consultation, maintain priority, crack LED for blue, and she bottomed Thoracle with her mulligan. So she's going for a win on turn 2 on a mulligan to 2 in seat 4. I have a silence in hand, so I can stop it if I just fire the silence. I'm thinking about it, and I look up and I see Glarb in seat 3. He tapped his Chrome Mox and then is hurriedly untapping it so that he doesn't show that he has interaction. And so I just pass the turn, so I get silence on my turn. And gets to him, he fluster storms it, and I just go untap silence, win. But I would have silenced if I hadn't looked across the table and caught that. So be observant, but also don't show your hand. You got to be careful too. Because I don't know. I don't think I would have lost if I had cast the silence there, because I could have won through the fluster storm, but it definitely opens me up to an avenue of losing where I have to go unprotected for my win. But yeah, just being able to keep an eye on the table, and like, format knowledge matters. Like if someone's representing a legendary creature and an untapped green source and they still feel confident in passing, they probably have Beseiju. Like, be aware of that stuff. And so yeah, I got that win in the top 16 because I saw him going to make mana for a spell, and I was like, well, he has to have something, so I'm not going to interact here, and he had it, which is great for me. No complaints on that one. Yeah,
I think that's good advice.
it looks like you were mentioning Broodlord's kind of your only thing, but you're also on Abdel Adrian. That's not. I mean, that's kind of another thing, right?
Abdel. So Broodlord doesn't win a game, as in. So Broodlord's my game plan, as in if I can get a reanimated creature into play, I want it to be Broodlord and not Abdel, because I can get to an infinite win with the Broodlord. If I just put an animate dot on Abdel and I have no payoff in hand or in play, I have to wait a turn cycle to try to kill people. And I did win a game like that, but it's always so risky. You know, you're just like, okay, you all have to go for wins now. So I hope you didn't have them in hand and you were just waiting for an opening, because it showed I had it. Like it shows no one has interaction if I'm doing this. So Broodlord's my game plan, where you play the Broodlord, you saw in half the Broodlord, and your tutors are reanimate and entomb. Because then you reanimate your Broodlord. Now the real one's in play. You entomb your Abdel, and that real Broodlord, when it came back, it grabbed your animate dead. Because then you can animate dead your Abdel, flicker the Broodlord, you tutor your library, you flash in your Bowmaster, you flicker the Bowmaster. Nice. And so it's all about, this list is all about making Broodlord win the game the minute it comes into play, rather than going animate dead Abdel and hope for the third piece. It's just, I'm entombing, reanimating Broodlord, and then I'm winning because Broodlord hit the board.
Right, and then when you said buried alive with your pile, almost like final pairing, it's just like when you have enough mana, there's like, what is it, like a Savines, or you put it in such a, is there I say a Priest of the Fell Rites?
It's the Priest of Fell Rites. So Priest of Fell Rites is what makes Buried Alive a 1-card combo. Because you pay 3 for Buried Alive, you put Broodlord, Abdel, Priest in the graveyard. And then you can unearth Priest for 5. It gains haste. You can sack it right away to get the Broodlord back, which tutors for your animate dead. And then you can animate dead your Abdel. Just like that. So as long as you have Lotho in play, if you have mana? 1, it is 9 if you have no creatures in play, and 8 if you have 1 creature in play. And it only puts 2 spells on the stack. So if you're not protecting it, it gets under Mindbreak Trap, and it only triggers Ristic and Mystic twice, which is like awesome too.
That's so sick.
Yeah. So it's people have missed this. Yeah. When the people I've seen like trying to go over my list, they always miss Priest of Fell Rites. And Priest is probably the most important card in the list, because it makes Buried Alive your intuition, where if you have the protection already, but you just have Demonic Tutor in hand and you have 11 mana, you just tutor and cast Buried Alive and win the game. You don't need an A plus B. Your A is just every single Demonic Tutor in your deck, because they can all be Buried Alive. And like, oh, it's so much mana. You have Lotho. Like, you just have Lotho, you know, and you just play them. Turn 4 comes by. What's this? Voice of Victory. Okay, I win now. Like it's the Priest of the Fell Rites is like, I had never seen anyone else trying it, but it's the tech that like it lets Buried Alive win, and it's so important to have that I win button where you're in top deck mode and you're like, how do I get out of this? You just drew Buried Alive. Oh, I win. You drew any tutor. You just win. It's really great having that on the list, and it's all of my games were won with the Abdel loop, with Broodlord in play, except for 1.
That's awesome.
And I think I had 5 wins. 3 of them were off of Buried Alive, where I had a protection piece in play and I just go tutor for Buried Alive, cast it, win.
Yeah, your record is overall 5-1-4, but I think in Swiss you were 4-0-4. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was 4-0-4 in Swiss.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, sure.
It was it's like I go in with low expectations, and then all of a sudden I still haven't lost a game and I'm in top 16. I'm like, can I do it?
So cool.
But
dude, hell
yeah, it was incredible. And you know, familiarity, because I've been playing this at Locos for so long. Just knowing that I know my own lines, and my line is simple, you know, it's just get to a certain threshold of mana and then protect the Buried Alive. Or, I mean, I have the Entombs and I have the Animate Deads in the deck, so I have A plus Bs, and Final Parting is also a Buried Alive, kind of. It's a 1-card win con. You Entomb and Demonic Tutor with 1. So You have these A plus Bs and these just I win buttons on a stick right here. Your game plan's really simple. You just ramp, draw cards, interact, and then protect your win. And you don't have to focus on convoluted tutors or win lines. You just focus on counting to 10 and protecting it. Like it's almost a Tolly like, where it's just like, my game plan's real simple. I'm just gonna slam this one card and win. It's just not your commander.
I have a couple questions now that we've talked about this. I'm starting to understand what your game plan is and how this comes together for sure. But talk to me about like Sarah Ascendant. Like, where does that fit into this?
Yeah,
Sarah Ascendant. So if people are wanting to make a Lotho list, you could cut Sarah Ascendant if you want. It's not everyone's flavor. I really liked it when it came up in the tournament. And there's obvious reasons of it, gains you life, whatever. But what I really loved about it is cEDH oftentimes falls into these mid-range hells where everyone has a Ristic in play and no one wants to push and we're all drawing cards. And what a turn one Sarah Ascendant did for me in the tournament when I saw it was I picked someone and I said, you're going to go for a win first because I'm going to attack you with Sarah Ascendant. And I kept doing it, and I kept doing it, and I kept doing it. And they were like, okay, do you guys want to draw? And I was like, I'll take a draw. So it's definitely a card that if you want to go a little more turbo with the list, you could definitely cut it. Maybe throw Adnaz in. You don't have to be doing just like Broodlord as your only like, oh, this is kind of how I win. You could go lower to the ground if you want. But I think Sarah Ascendant is really great into the mid-range pods, terrible into Rogsai, and like my top 4 pod, I would never want to have seen it, but into the mid-range pods where you just pick one person and tell them, you have 4 turns. You have 4 turns to push a win. And we all know you're going to push a win in 4 turns, so good luck. And then all the interaction gets used, and then you win. So it's great. It's a weird one. It's great. And then if you see yourself in a stacked out pod, there is a combat damage win of you sawn half a Sarah Ascendant, and it will make 8/8 Sarah Ascendants, and then you can Caretaker's Talent clone a Sarah Ascendant and then level it up. So you have 3 10/10 flying lifelinkers. But that's like,
that's so sick.
I've won a game with it, but it was in locals, and it was like 2 stacks pods, and I was like, sure, this is my hand right now, and I'm gonna attack for 30 in the air on turn 4.
So what are the Lotho cards in the stack, like Benny Brax and Caretaker's Talent? You brought up Caretaker's Talent.
So how do they
prepare?
So Benny Brax is great because of the Convoke. It lets you play it like the same turn you play Lotho. Like if you're looking at like turn 1 Soul Ring or something, maybe like Springleaf Drum, you can go like Lotho, Chrome Mox, Benny Brax with Convoke. You've made your treasure and step you draw, and then it draws every turn someone triggers Lotho, which is, I'd say 3 out of 4 turns of most cEDH games. So you have this at most 4 mana, at minimum 0 if you fully convoke it, draw engine that can draw up to 4 cards a turn. It's worse than Caretaker's Talent. Caretaker's Talent's always 3, but it is an outlet for your Abdel loop, because when you make your 1/1 soldier off of Abdel, it draws a card, and then next Abdel you can reset the talent and then not exile it, make the one draw. So if you have the talent out, you can draw your deck 1 card at a time, and then you'll draw into Dark Ritual Bowmaster and flash it in. But that one's really good too. It's just card draw at 3, which is about Ristic rate. And Ristic will draw more, but we're in black-white, so we take what we can get. And then I also view Apple of Eden as a Lotho card because it's a 4 mana Weird Silence. Just most decks aren't going to be comfortable playing it and then trying to like win on the same turn they play it. But I've got no problem with it. But a lot of decks are going to shy away from that because like that's a lot of mana to play and then try to push a win. But Lotho, you're just sitting there with nothing but mana a lot of games, and you're just, okay, I'll just take your hand. Other than that, like nothing's, I guess, final parting. Like you would see a lot more decks run final parting if it was really good, but 5 mana is so much mana for a Entomb and a Demonic Tutor. Trouble in Pairs, but yeah,
powerful cards, you know.
Yes,
and
yeah. I mean,
Lively Dirge made me rethink that, where it's like, I mean, putting more than one effect on the same card is worth more. You know, it's like, it's awesome. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Felia's a weird one.
Yeah, that's the
Felia
one
is
I'm
my
kind of like. I've seen Felia a lot. Specifically, I know the card because of Tim. Tim plays it in Marnius on occasion
Yeah.
when he feels like the time is right. He plays Felia. But talk to me about it in Lotho. Like, I'm not really seeing the.
So it is your get out of jail free card for any stack space in the format. But it also, if you can't win, puts it back into play for your opponents, which is great. That's a great floor. It lets you snap off an animate dead early game on someone else's graveyarded creature, and then when you need to push a win, you can flicker it with the Felia onto your Abdel
That's
Adrian.
cool.
It lets me be really happy
That's
about
cool.
playing Solitude as a removal spell. I had a game with Max Sternberg round 3 where I was flickering Solitude with Felia, and creatures were not allowed, and that was like, my trouble in pairs wasn't drawing cards, but I had a Solitude and a Felia, and I was just swords to plowsharing every turn. And
That's so sick.
it's really good. But the really important thing is, if you're gonna win with Abdel and that's your only win, you can't beat a Torpor Orb. So you need a way to remove Torpor Orb that's not an ETB. And Witch Enchanter is my only other disenchant in the deck. So Felia was like, I was like, this is perfect. It's an attack trigger. I can reset mana vaults if I want to. I can reset animate deads.
Wish Claw.
Wish Claws. Wish Claw is great. You Wish Claw and then flicker at the same turn. You get it back before they activate it. You can play Witch Enchanter and not be upset about casting it because it's 2 disenchants the turn you play it. There's just like a couple creatures have ETBs, and then you're not upset about like resetting Caretaker's talent and copying another treasure just to keep digging deeper. It's really good.
I'm pretty big on Witch Enchanter, so like I'm familiar with the card. I think it's fantastic. I love especially playing it with like Displacer Kitten and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty great. I totally get it. That makes a lot of sense.
You're on Touch as well, right? Touch of Spirit Realm?
Yeah, Touch is it's one hell of a channel spell. It's real good.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you can reset the touch if you want. It's Felia's real great. I love it, but it got Gilded Draked the same game I was flickering the Solitude. And when your Gilded Drake opponent has a Felia and they can flicker their Gilded Drake every turn.
That's so much fun in Marnius, but not in Orzhov.
I was like very happy to get the draw that round. When the Siste player took my Felia with their Drake, I was like, oh, we're gonna die to this, huh? But
how was Ripples? That's a card I faced one time at a tournament. I think it was in a Master Keys deck, which made a lot of sense. But I was blown away by the advantage. It's one of those cards that it plays better than it reads. I feel I saw it and I was like, holy smokes, this card is like burying us.
All right, before Zechariah answers, I'm going to give my perspective, then you can tell me if I'm right or not.
Okay.
All right. So you're in white, and you don't care if anything that you have goes to yard for the most part. And then if you do care, you can just put it back into your hand by paying 1 and 3 life, which is really nothing for your deck.
Nothing.
It is your version of a Sylvan Library. It's essentially the same cost with a life, payment, and it's basically a really bad Ristic study. But on the upside of like, if you're just entombing something and you're like, oh, here's Broodlord in the yard all of a sudden. I think it's good enough. Like, is that kind of your perspective on it?
So my perspective was, oh, this just came out. Let's try it in the list. And I go, turn 1, land, Chrome Mox, Ripples, first main phase, mill, Abdel Adrian, animate dead. And I'm like, it's staying in the deck.
Dude, that's awesome.
The high roll is insane. Awesome. Yeah, the high roll on it is just absurd. But it is one of those cards that it's comparable to Sylvan Library. That's like the 1-to-1 on it. But I think it's better than Sylvan Library in almost every way, where it looks at one more card. You're looking at 4 cards if you count your draw step. And a lot of times when you see people drawing off their wristics or their libraries, especially with library, where they're like, I just have to take 8 here to clear the top. You don't get stuck. It just clears the top. You don't want anything? Don't take anything. You just saved your next 3 draw steps with Ripples of Undeath, taking them off the top. But also, you need a land? Take the land. You need a Swords to Plowshares? Take the Swords to Plowshares. You need the One Ring. It's the fact that it's not limited to card types getting out of it, and it's 3 cards. It's so good when your deck is just good cards. You're like, I'll take any one of these 3. And if it's 3 bad cards in the spot, you're like, whatever, 3 lands. I don't need lands. I just saved my next 3 draw steps by milling over 3 lands. My next card's probably going to be gas, and then I get to look at 3 more. It's every game I've played it. It's been phenomenal.
The other thing I'll say about the card is because of the wording and the templating of the card, it happens after your draw step. So you're able to get information about like what you're trying to do on your turn because you're drawing first, and then this effect is happening. So, whereas like it's the opposite of Mystic Remora, where you don't have the information from your card draw when you're deciding whether to pay Remora or not. So it is very interesting. I think in the right deck, it definitely fits. I like Ripples a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like you need it, but it's just really solid. And I think if you want to take the list faster, it's a card you would cut. Because it does do nothing the turn you play it. Like Necro, at least you can go, oh, I'm just going to go to 1 and hope I draw Necromancy and Abdel win on it, clean up. But Ripples is like, you play it and you need to untap before you get any value out of it. But the minute you're like, oh, I really needed land drop and I milled over my Ancient Tomb, yeah, I'll get that back for 1 mana. And now I'm up mana for the turn. It's just, it's been really impressive every time I've gotten to play it.
All right, so you mentioned Necro. Quickly, we're very familiar with the Necro pattern of Necro for a little, next turn Necro for a lot. Hopefully you get a Flash enabler, that sort of thing. What is the Necro pattern with Lotho, typically?
So I played Necro twice in the event. Yeah, it's weird because you're also losing life from Lotho, and it's not a May on Lotho. So I've played Necro twice in the tournament. Once it got countered, I said whatever. The second time it stuck, and I was in seat 2, but there was 2 blue farms that kept 7s. And so the Necro pattern definitely depends on the pod and your comfortability. So in there, I knew they had a bunch of interaction. So I was necroing to about 10 cards in hand and just making sure I had between 2 and 4 game actions on my turn to hopefully push a turn 4 win with it. It's really risky in this deck to go for a really deep necro because if you necro, let's say to 2, you need to find the Abdel and the Necromancy specifically to be even hoping to win. And if you don't find either of them, you're out of luck. And then if you do, you're still casting 2 spells before you win. So Lotho's going to make you lose a life. And then if your opponent's like, oh, well, I have this Demonic Consultation, and I'll just cast it for a second spell and make you lose another life, you can kill yourself. So I prefer to stay, like, keep a full grip until you can visualize your win. If I have Abdel or Necromancy in hand, I'm going deep. If I already have one of them, I'm going to go for it. But usually it's like, I'm going to stay at like 7 cards until I stick a Grand Abolisher, and then I'm going to push. Because you don't need to draw them to win once you get your protection piece in play, because you'll probably have a tutor in hand. You just want to stay at about 7 and keep your life total up, because you'll go down really quickly. If everyone's like, oh, okay, he went from 30 to 20 with his first Necro, double spell, attack for 8 around the table, and now you're at 12 life, and you're like, okay, I have 1 mediocre Necro flip left, and I need to win on my cleanup step, I guess. So I think you need to keep your life total pretty high with Necro until you're comfortable digging deep. And I usually wait until I have the Necromancy or the Abdel to do that, or just another protection piece. But yeah.
Any reason you're not on? I was just thinking. Any reason? Have you tried Delney? Because she works with Commander.
So Delney is good, but I think it's just good, and I wasn't really interested in, if I already had Lotho in play, using probably my entire next turn, or like one of my major actions of my next turn of putting a Delny in play and then getting back around with twice as many treasures that it would have made that turn, but I used them to put Delny down the last turn. So like, did I really go up on treasures? And like it double triggers Archivist. There's a couple things that it's decent with, but
I hear it's pretty good with Vesper Sentinel.
I know. My philosophy for the event was I wanted as many cards in my deck to be good in my hand whenever I saw them at whatever stage of the game. So you never want to see Abdel in hand, but almost every card in the deck, I'm like, if it's in my opener, I'm okay with it being one of the 7 with like nothing else going on. Delny is a card where I think it's just fine with Lotho. I think you really want like a card draw engine that's going to trigger off of it, or like the Bowmaster's in play. And I only have 2 creatures that are the card draw engines that would trigger off the Delny. So it just didn't feel worth it when I could go up another interaction piece or another silence or another tutor. So I tried to say no to that one. I didn't feel like I missed it. All my card draw creatures drew me enough cards that I felt like I had enough to go for a protected win by the time it mattered. I don't think Delny would have changed that. It's definitely something you could try. I think a more, like if you want to take this even more mid-rangey, I don't know, like just more interaction maybe, a Delny seems great. Focus more on creatures that are going to trigger it. But I like I could push on turn 3 here, but I'm also happy going to turn 6. And that's the sweet middle spot I found this deck to be at.
So I've got a couple cards along the same like kind of questioning that Tim had with Delny. I'll start off an easy one, I think. Why no Bolas Citadel?
Bolas Citadel. So I'm a 27 land deck with how many MDFCs? Is that counting them? I can't remember.
27 plus 3.
27 plus 3. I tried Citadel and I played it and I had a land on top and I'd already played my land for turn. So I passed the turn. That's terrible. That's a horrible feeling. I cast it once and it got Besaged. I was like, that's a bad feeling too. I cast it and I had 8 life, so I wasn't able to do anything with it. I cast it and it got Force of Negation. I cast it and it got Fierce Guardianship. I cast it and it got Offered. It got an offered you can't refuse.
Sure, I mean, like all those counter spells though are things that can be pointed at your like reanimate effects though. Right?
Yeah. The reanimate effects are 1 to 3 mana.
Yeah.
So I can put a protection piece down much easier and earlier in the game before I go for that push than going, I need 8 mana for Grand Abolisher Citadel, and then it might fizzle. Instead, I can go Grand Abolisher, Entomb, Reanimate Broodlord, and I can't fizzle because I have a guaranteed win line in the deck.
Yeah.
So
and like I said, that was me kind of
yeah.
giving you a little bit of a layup. I think I know why you're not running Bolas. Like there's too many factors that like it's good, right? And it can work technically, but then you're actually adding top as well, and you're kind of like locking yourself into that.
And it's nice for people to kind of get a window into the brewing process and what it means to be like creative and accounting for the meta, and more importantly, knowing your deck. Knowing your lines and knowing that, hey, I value having a protected win when I'm in these colors.
Yeah. I had started the list with like I think the most important cuts that people are confused about are Citadel and like Razaketh. They were in the starting list, but if I have Entomb Reanimate and Razaketh could win the game, then Broodlord could also win the game in that same spot. So I don't need 2 things for that. And Razaketh into an empty board can never win the game, but Broodlord into an empty board can win the game.
I actually don't have a question about why no Razaketh. I have a question about why no Villis.
Villis, I actually just cut. Yeah. Villis was a tough cut because it had been in the list from the start. And, you know, you have those draws where it's land, Lotus Petal, and Entomb, Reanimate. And you're like, I'm going to draw 8 cards here on turn 1. And they're great. But Villis, it's tough in the hand. It's a tough card to have in your hand. 8 mana for tapping out for Villis is a well, we do need to counter this or kill it right away kind of spell. And it's also your entire turn. It doesn't win right away when it comes into play. It's just a big card advantage engine.
You're on
And
4+ reanimate effects though, and you're on ripples. I think that there's probably room for it back in as just another thing.
yeah, I think it. I loved it in the list. For this, I wanted to keep it as simple as possible for myself. And Villis is you can compare it to a Necro for 10 that is just junk, where you're like, cool, I just put a Villis into play. And it's about the same as putting a Necro down, where you're just like, okay, draw 10. It can do more later, where you're still getting your draw steps, and Lotho triggers are drawing you cards, which is awesome. But it also kills you to Bowmaster if you tap out for it.
That's true.
So that's a tough loss. I've died once to that.
It kind of does. It depends on how much mana you have, right? Because you
need 1 mana to not die. But if you tap out and don't have a mana, you do die to it. Because I can't slaughter pact it. I guess I could evoke Solitude in this one. So I guess I don't die to Bowmaster.
Yeah.
I changed my mind.
Maybe
I might put it back in.
Yeah. You've got E-Zone too, and also Necromancy and Flash Speed potentially can get you there. Anyway, I thought...
might go back in.
Tekrar, do you have ways to discard your reanimation targets in this deck?
So cleanup is the only way to get Abdel out of hand, unless you have Fomori Vault in play. That's the land. It's my one utility land. Yeah. So nice. Fomori Vault is a weird one, and I know some people are like, "Is it actually good?" But I found
Fomori Vault is incredible.
Yeah, I think you need one discard outlet. Yeah, I think you need one way to discard stuff, and when you just have 8 artifacts in play and you activate Fomori Vault, and you get to go 8 cards deep. Oh my god, it's so good. And then I actually
how about this?
I don't care
have
about
you thought about in hand. Have you thought about Cabal Therapy?
I saw it in someone's list. He told me about it. He said, try Cabal Therapy, and I said, that's kind of genius. Sack your Abdel to the
really
therapy.
Good. Yes.
Oh, it's so cool.
So I would highly recommend that. Yeah, highly recommend that, and also you can use it on your opponents as well if you know that if you're expecting a MBT or something that you're like, okay, well, here's Cabal Therapy naming MBT, and they're like, now I kind of need to use a piece on the Cabal Therapy, and that really sucks for them.
Yeah, I also might try the I think it's Bitter Triumph. It came out pretty recently, where it's the 2 mana kill spell, but you can discard a card or pay 3 life as a cost.
That's Bitter Triumph.
That one seems like I could go up something for it, but I haven't felt like I've needed a discard outlet. I can play Abdel and then sack it to Culling the Weak or Sacrifice, so that's not that big of a deal. And then I actually don't mind Broodlord in hand, because I probably have 3 creatures in play, so it's actually only a 5 mana Broodlord or something like that. It's just oh, cool.
Tons of mana.
Yeah, I'll just convoke it out, and then the next spell I cast off of its tutor triggers Lotho, and then I'm just oh, I'm cooking here all of a sudden. So I really like a Broodlord in hand. I'm never upset about. Yeah, Cabal Therapy is.
Yeah, just a text on Cabal Therapy, just because I'm bringing up random cards that aren't in your list. It is 1 black sorcery. Choose a non-land card name. Target player reveals their hand and discards all cards with that name. It also has flashback, sack a creature, which is pretty sick.
Yeah. It does 2 really good roles in this. You're oh, Abdel's stuck in play. Therapy you for Force of Will. You don't have it. Oh, but you have the Mind Break trap. Cool. Sack Abdel for Mind Break. It's so... I think it's one I have to go up. I need to find a spot for it. It's so cool.
Well, how about this? I have a couple more things to talk about, and then we can talk about where you can find spots, because I might have some suggestions.
Sure.
So... the next thing I want to talk about real quick before I make any more why not this card suggestions are I wanted to I had some questions about your mana package, your artifact package.
Sure.
So I noticed you're on a lot of 2 mana rocks. So you're on Signet, Felwar Stone, and your on color Talisman. Are you on those that many 2 mana rocks because of the Lotho trigger?
That's a big part of it. But also I'm on Tomb and City of Traders, so just having more turn 1 ways of going soul, land, rock is really good.
Okay.
But yeah, something I've realized about the deck is, first of all, people don't respect Lotho, so you get a bunch of treasures. And if they do respect Lotho, you can still trigger it, so it doesn't matter that much. And being able to do that, the talismans, the signets, they really help. And also, the deck needs to be able to perform without Lotho in play, just in case.
Sure.
And still having that, you still want your normal stock cEDH mana package of like, I've got some fast mana and some middling mana, but I can still accelerate no matter how the game shapes up. Because if you get turn 1 Draneth by your opponent and your game plan was Lotho for treasures, you have to make mana in some other way, or you're just going to go land drop, and hope you can hit them and get there. So
what about Paradise Mantle then? Because I see it kind of, but like
it's real good.
Okay.
It's so you can't guarantee turn 1 Lotho. There's only 4 ways to turn 1 a Lotho, and mulliganing for it isn't that great because you have to go low, it's not going to be great. So turn 2 Lotho triggers are really powerful, and I've been thinking I want a couple more zeros maybe. Like I think I want Tormod's Crypt in the list, where I have this graveyard hate piece, but it's also a 0, so it triggers Lotho on 2. So Paradise Mantle, like, it's so good. You really want to be able to play Lotho and trigger it yourself if that's your only turn 2 play. And then like making Lotho a mana dork isn't that big of a deal, but it is upside. So I've never thought about cutting Mantle. It's always felt really solid. You make Lotho a mana dork, but it also made a treasure on the way down. So it's a net 1 mana card that also makes Lotho your Birds of Paradise. It's really good for turn 4 wins. And that's usually when I'm aiming to win with this deck, is like just protected on turn 4. But Mantles felt really good, yeah.
So why no Grim Monolith then?
Grim Monolith it was a tough one. It was in the starter list, but when I cut Citadel and Peer to the Abyss, I said, I'm not really starved for generic colorless mana. I'm not really starved for mana at all with Lotho. And it just falling in at 2 was really awkward if I needed it to like ritual into a win, where it would use up 2 of my colored pips. And then I'm tight for like Buried Alive, Unearthed Priest, because I just have a bunch of colorless mana, and that's not enough sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one that like it'd be fine, but I haven't missed it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I see Grim as like almost uncuttable in most lists. I play it in Rogsai, and I love the card. I think it's anything that's like +1 or positive mana is really what I'm looking for. And I know that there are different style decks for sure. So I'm just curious what your thoughts were on that. But I mean, to me, it's like another 2 mana, talisman or whatever. But like if you can get the Lotho trigger off of it, it seems potentially worthwhile. But you definitely acknowledge that.
For the reasons you like Paradise Mantle, one thing that Logan affectionately calls is Diet Chromox, which is Jamulet, Jeweled Amulet. Have you tried that?
Yeah. I have, and it's like it's the so
card
fine.
Sucks. Don't run it, please. It's so bad.
If you have to use your treasure to charge a Jeweled Amulet, then you're losing the game. It's like it's so bad.
It really is.
It's just not worth it. I would rather run an Ornithopter that I can sack the color.
I could see you like running some of the like baubles.
Yeah.
Something like that. You mentioned Tormod's Crypt. It kind of seems like in a similar vein where you'd run that. But we're also like pushing the envelope of artifacts here. Like, are you on Workshop?
No, it's real close, but I don't think it's like it's really close, but
it's really close.
Can't justify it. I can't justify it. I'm already on 4 colorless lands, and Lotho's black and a white.
And I know.
If you're not turn 2ing your Lotho because you have a Workshop in hand, you're like, but but my One Ring will be really quick, and you're just like, well,
Or your
it's
Apple.
tough. Yeah, Workshop for Apple seems hot, but it's
Yeah.
really close. If I could make room for another land in the deck, I think I would run it, but I don't really feel like I need another land. But yeah, it's real close, especially with all the artifacts I've got.
That pretty much covers the questions I had about your artifact, and I think that you've got a really good grasp on like why you're running the ones you are. I think it makes a lot of sense. Speaking of lands, why are you on so many damn lands?
So did you know that a free arcane signet every turn is really good? And that's what I view lands as. It is a lot of lands, but
well said.
It's really important to get to that like 8 mana threshold to win with this deck, because you kind of have to do it all in one turn. If you have like intuition as an instant speed end step thing, it splits the mana cost up of your win con, but you really need to be going for it all at once. And hitting a land drop every turn is really powerful when it gets to turn 4 of the game and you're 2 to 3 mana up on your opponents because you hit all your lands. It's definitely not for everyone. You could mulligan more aggressive for lands, but I like not having to mulligan as much because I don't have the lands.
It's interesting you're not on exotic, but you're on forbidden, but you're on Fellwar Stone, which is kind of like exotic orchard. I understand it if you're turn one.
I cut it because it can't turn 1 Lotho. And that, I think Starting Town is what took its spot. Like
that
it was
makes
just
sense.
like it's just this is just a slightly better exotic orchard most of the time.
And you're on 6 fetches or 7 or however many is
all the ones are legal in 2 colors, which I think is 6.
Yeah, I think it's 6.
Yeah. They're really important for the niche surveil trigger on the stack, Vamp Tutor for Abdel, and Entomb It.
Yeah.
It doesn't really come up, but you want all the fetches you can get. Just colors are really important, and the surveil land's really powerful in this list, where you do just have a chance of 1 in 80 milling over Abdel and winning the game because of it. So,
if I were designing this list, I would go down. Well, so you're on 30 with your MDFCs. I'd go down 2 and add Grim and probably another like I don't know, maybe Diachrome Mox or Tormod Script or something like that.
I like 30 lands.
Hey, someone respects it. I think I'm going to cut the Boggart Trawler though. The Boggart Trawler is it's just been a land. I've never wanted to cast it. Turns out sorcery speed Graveyard Hate doesn't do anything. So I think I'm probably going to cut that. All
right.
Like Grim sounds good, or Tormod's Crypt, like or
so
Cabal Therapy. Like that could be my.
If you're cutting Boggart Trawler, you got Cabal Therapy. I got a couple other cards for you to think about.
Yeah.
Tim, you got anything off the top of your head?
I'm just curious about Dispatch. I've never.
Where's this?
Dispatch was I cut it. I cut it for the.
No, like what's the spell type?
It's an instant. It's not showing up in this list because I just updated this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's in the actual
It should be in that one. Yeah.
It was in the tournament list.
It's a Swords to Plowshares if you have Metalcraft, and if you don't, it does nothing.
I just tapped.
As long as it's not turn 1, you always have Metalcraft. But if it's turn 1, it does nothing. So I was like, this could come out.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious. I've never seen it in cEDH. I've seen it around, but it's cool.
I think Lotho is one of those things that, like, if you're thinking about a Metalcraft card, you're going to have Metalcraft if you're playing Lotho. So give it a chance. It's just, I have Path and Swords, which just do it on turn 1. So I don't need the third one.
Very true.
All right. Have you thought about Stitcher's Supplier?
I have, but I don't value random mill in this list.
Random?
It's random.
I guess.
Yeah, you just mill 3. Like it's fine, but like
why can I not find this? So,
I don't know.
Stitcher's Supplier. No, it's because I can't spell.
It's just like fine.
Well, you like Ripples of Undeath, right? And it's another Calling the Week.
Ripples gets cards to your hand if you need them. Stitchers So I'm only looking to mill over like one card. Like it's just like the only card I am upset about being in my hand is the Abdel. So if I'm only looking to mill over Abdel, milling at most 6 of an 80 card deck is not a great chance. And
fair enough.
It's like it's a 1-drop, but I have no other synergy. Like I really have no graveyard synergies besides just winning with the Abdel loop. So it
Well, I mean, you
has
have
no
you have like
value.
4+ reanimates, so you have some graveyard synergy, right?
But they only hit the Broodlord and the Ab. Like I'm only looking to mill over 2 cards. I can't justify a mill 3.
You mill 3, then it dies, and then you reanimate it, and you mill 3, and then it dies, and then you'll find it eventually. It's like kind of like an entomb.
What turn are we on here after that? After the
that's fair enough.
People are attacking my sister supplier.
Oh, I'm not defending this. I was just asking.
Yeah.
All right. Have you heard of the card Paladin class?
Yes. Oh, I think if you want to go more turbo with Lotho, play Paladin class. That card rips. It's so cool.
It seems kind of free because it's a 1 mana thing, so you can potentially get a Lotho trigger off of it. People are incentivized to interact, but also sometimes they're like, I don't really want to waste anything on it. And you kind of untap and you're like, oh shit, I have to actually pay mana to cast my spells.
Yeah, the thing that's tough about it is it's only 1 mana. So because this deck loses to every form of interaction in the format, you really want your silences to be definitive silences, I think.
Well, you're on D-Grid, and there's a lot of Smothering Ties around.
Yeah, but D-Grid lets you win on turn 3 through it, probably.
I think Paladin class could potentially let you do the same thing.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to build the list to just always win on 3, I think you want Paladin class. The fact that you play it for 1, and then you immediately double spell after, and it's been a 0 mana side. It's real good. Also, Tithe Taker has the same static of spells your opponent's cast cost 1 more in your turn. I think if you're trying to win quicker with this list, you probably want those ones instead of I don't know, removal spells. But yeah, I'm really comfortable with this deck going into the mid-range games. My optimal pod is 2 blue farms and a Rog Thras. And I don't feel like I needed more silences. My first pod was blue farm, Thras Vial. And I was like, oh, cool. We're going to go to turn 5. And I'm going to win the game because
I'm just saying level 2 prevents your Lotho from dying to Bowmasters.
Yeah. Well, people don't kill Lotho, and they will after this, so maybe it has to come in.
Yeah.
What about
that's funny.
What about Taro? Just curious. Have you tested it?
I haven't tested it because I don't think it's good. It's just
it's incredible. The Taro 2 is insane.
Better than you thought? All right, I'll probably have to try it then. It
plays better than it looks. I was really surprised.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of it in the... Sorry, Tim, I keep stepping on you.
That's okay.
We got delay.
Go ahead, Logan.
No, I was saying I saw it a lot in the Invitational. I think Tim did as well, and I've seen it in locals before that, and I'm like, this card is... First of all, it doesn't die to anything. It dies to actual hard removal, but that's it. And then on top of that, just making a ton of treasures when everyone's drawing cards and you untap with a metric ton. It's crazy. Right. It could really accelerate your plan.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something because I saw it only once or twice, and it made 2 treasures, and then the game ended, so I didn't get to really see it be out for a while. But it's new enough that I didn't want to try it when I was already comfortable in my list, and
no doubt.
I saw it make 2 treasures, but it came down on turn 6, so it was just if it was a turn 2 play, it would have been a lot better.
First of all, it's the floor is that it's a cantrip, and your opponent always takes the card draw, so you get cantrip plus treasure. And then the other thing is there are times when I'm sure you don't want to play Lotho, and you're just this doesn't feel that good. Tataru gives you essentially the Lotho thing, but you will probably make more mana off of this, and also it doesn't like actively kill you.
Yeah. Actively dying to Lotho is tough sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because what is you talked a little bit about, and we've been going for a while, but Abdel Interrupter, I see that card around it. I've never cast it. I'm just curious about what your experience with it is. If it's in the list, it must be intentional and have some good results. So
It's
what about
it's really damn good.
It fucks Breach.
Plotting a spell is insane. You just like you ruin someone's day when you plot a spell. If it's an instant that's any form of counter magic, it's just gone forever. And then just having that stacks piece where like the best deck the most played deck in the format is winning with Breach most of the time. You can't win with Breach through this, or at least it's really hard.
True.
It's really good.
You have to remove it first.
It gives you a counter spell in white that I'm not embarrassed to play. Like you just someone casts a Force of Will on you, and you're like, okay, flash an Abdel Interrupter, plot it, and now I win here. It's offensive, it's defensive, and it has a stacks piece on it where it's just like it's so good.
It's really cool.
That's awesome.
All right,
and Lotho gives you the mana for it.
I've got two more cards on my why not these cards. Savin's Reclamation.
Yeah, it's tough. I want to run it, but like I just don't have permanents in the graveyard to get out with it unless I get fizzled on a win. And my plan was to not get fizzled on my wins. So I couldn't justify running it. And I'm glad I stuck with this plan because every game I played, if somebody pushed for a win and got stopped, they didn't get another turn. The game ended in that turn cycle by someone else winning. So I think having these like, well, if it gets fizzled, I'll go for this instead. It didn't feel good. And I'm glad I didn't run it.
Yeah, fair enough. My two arguments for it would be Ranger Captain and also, hey, you can get a land.
But if I'm getting a land with Savin's Rec, I'm not like pretty happy about it. I'd rather it be anything else. I don't. It is
an untapped land, and it's potentially a Lotho trigger. So you're really only like -1 mana if you do that, and you're able to trigger Lotho. So
and you keep your land drops coming. It's like obviously a good card. It's just like I don't like where it's at its ceiling. The ceiling is it's like getting back your animate dead and winning because of it. But I don't like my animate dead having been put in the graveyard. So I don't like it at its ceiling, and its floor is just like okay for me. So I'm just didn't run it.
All right, and then the last one is probably out of left field. I'm not sure if you thought about this card. Why not Scheming Symmetry?
Because I don't draw cards on my turn unless I have a 1 ring in play.
But you're on Oppo.
Yeah, but that's like it's good. It's another Vampiric Tutor is good. I'd rather go up Grim Tutor, which I'm not on right now, than run Scheming Symmetry. It's like I'm never gonna cast it on 1. Like if it's in my hand, I'm like,
why not?
I'm not casting this because
I cast it on 1 all the time. For sure, no. You say, hey, I have a Scheming Symmetry. Who's willing to get a land off of this, and will you show me?
Yeah.
And then otherwise, I'd say like I'm not casting it because I guarantee you on 1, someone will tutor for what you want them to tutor for.
That's a good point. It's just I want as many tutors as possible to go straight to the hand. Like I already have Vamp and Seal and Enlightened, so that's 3 of my tutors that if I'm trying to win, they don't let me win right away on that turn if they're my draw step. It's also another one of those. And, like, it just felt risky.
My argument is because you're on Oppo. And you make whatever color mana you want for the most part. You can
just take whatever.
It's literally alternate win. It's Grand Abolisher with Oppo on field. You cast Scheming Symmetry. You take a Thoracle or you take a Decon. You go, cool, guys. Can I win the game now? And it's very, very compact. That's why I like it.
Yeah, I'll definitely think about it. The fact that it's just 1 card that I'm not going to cut Oppo, so it just pairs up with that to just win is definitely a really good argument for it. And then the turn 1, who wants a land?
Yeah. It's really
someone
not that bad.
Squish paw talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one that I picked up for Glarb, and obviously Glarb can make use of the top deck tutors, right? But I'm on Oppo, and when I was running nothing else but Thoracle, I had Oppo scheming as my backup in case my Thoracle were to be stopped or whatever. I would be like, okay, well, I can go again. I'm not like completely out, even though it's kind of like way more obscure. I have like another way to get through and convert. Cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I really love talking about this. I think the missing piece for a lot of people was hearing you talk about your deck.
Absolutely.
I know you got when you say 1,500 people looked at your Mox Shield, those people are all goldfishing it and saying, "Huh, how does this work?" But you are, but you're the missing context, and it's really it's important for us to see that a deck without its pilot is a pile of cards, and this is awesome. And it really adds some. Once we know what these 12 tutors or like a dozen tutors, what direction they're moving towards, and I love how you're just like, hey, big tournament, I want one game plan. This is a Broodlord deck, and like seeing it through that lens changes everything.
Yeah, you lock in on your plan A, and my plan B is lose the game. So just win, just win.
Yes.
Just do it. Just win, dude.
All right. Last thing I wanted to say, you're from Pittsburgh. Lotho's white and black, or some would say black and yellow. Is there any relation there?
No. It's just I like the commander, I like the deck, and I just happen to live in Pittsburgh. But yeah, it was really awesome to be able to pick up a playmat, be repping the Pittsburgh Lotho. It was awesome, yeah.
Dude, it was perfect. It was meant to be, dude.
Tim and I were talking before Pittsburgh, and we're like, he's like, oh, I really want to do something with the Penguins. I was like, it would be just so cool if you did like Lotho or whatever. We were talking about it, and he came up with this mat, and I was like, dude, it's yellow and black. It's like it could not be more perfect. And then of course Lotho, you get second at the biggest event that cEDH has ever had. It's so cool.
It was awesome. I'm really hoping I see more people trying it.
You will.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and like I think the fact that the win line, once you know it and understand it, is so compact and clean, the steps to get there, I think it'll lend itself to being new player friendly, more so than like a Kennen, where you just get killed when you're playing Kennen, but like you're just a little guy playing Lotho. They're just a little guy. So I think it'll be good. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say thanks so much. Thanks so much for spending the time. It was great to meet you.
Yeah.
We love talking about this type of thing and obscure decks that do well. Like we're big fans. Obviously, like we like the meta decks and the decks that are performing. But guess what? You performed at the largest tournament we've ever had, and nabbing second place sure isn't bad, man.
I'm over the moon about it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, awesome.
I see it now. Talking to you, I see it. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Anything you want to plug or shout out before we sign off?
I have no socials. I have nothing to plug. I am impossible to find on the internet as of this tournament, so I'm starting to get out there more. But just the thing I want to say is just if you're inexperienced at cEDH and you're watching content and you're worried about playing in a big event like I was, just do it and be okay with doing bad. You're going to get better. It's going to be fun, and just go and do it.
Hell yeah. I wanted to extend an invite to you. If you ever want to play in our league, we're happy to give you access to that for a month or two. We've got 275 players right now this month. It's the biggest online league, and we'd love to have you. So come wreck us and show us what Lotho can do.
I'd love to.
All right, man.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you later.